Hi, welcome to Andrew Buckle book review of Namor, the Submariner. This is an epic collection, Titans 3. As you can see, it's a paperback, soft cover. Titans 3, Thomas, Conway, Buscema and Colon, and others, of course, as well. Now, this is volume 4, and you can see the details, 1970-1972. You can see the ISBN there. Now, this cost about £26, I think. I bought it, obviously, via one of the third-party ones on, I think, Amazon. This one, $49.99, obviously new. Submariner, $28 to $49. You can see the details there, as well as Daredevil 77, and also material from Kazar issue 1. Now, I will say Submariner all the way through, Submariner, Submariner, Submarine, or whatever you want to. I'm certain there's many variations people call this. Tragedy, and there's a bit of tragedy in this, and I think personally, I wish they hadn't done so much tragedy in this. Triumph, and also certain there's that much triumph. I suppose saving various people is a triumph. And Titans 3. And of course, that is the first appearance of what became the Defenders. Of course, it's slightly different set of people, but still it was probably considered, along with a few other stories that sort of with like Doctor Strange as well. I'm going to go through that in a sec, but before I do any further, let's just show the first issue. This is the first volume. Submariner obviously there. Enter the Submariner. This includes some odd material. It's got like the Fantastic Four issues as well as I wish they hadn't done that, but they did. They went through that, and also other stories as well, the Avengers, etc. It's really great. Obviously, the annual and those sort of things as well. Really good volume still. Really love it. I don't know if there's an omnibus coming out at some point. I think I saw a listing at some point mentioned there was going to be omnibus. I think I'm just going to go for the epics. Probably will not go for the omnibus this time. And again, this is volume 3. There's no volume 2 at the moment. There's no volume 5, which I assume will be the last. Maybe volume 6. Unless they continue on and include lots of other Namor stories that are beyond, obviously, that original run, which I think went up to issue 72. So that will be an interesting thing to see what they do when they continue this thing. But I've also got this, which is, of course, one of the original comics. I thought I'd just put it aside so you can see the size. And you can see there, obviously, the original there, and obviously that's not the same issue. I haven't got that one, I don't think. I've got about probably 50%. This is probably one of my most complete, as much as possible, collections. Maybe the Avengers of a run between a certain, obviously 1 to 100. I'm not talking all the way up to whatever 350 or anything. There's still great stories. I really love these stories, Submariner ones. And it's nice when you get the epics because, of course, the thing is it's all complete. So you've got a nice run so you can go from story to story. Instead, of course, when you get these, and often I would pick these up at the Comic Mart. And, of course, when you pick them at Comic Mart, you don't get issue, whatever, this one's issue 33. You might not have issue 32, and therefore you don't know what happened beforehand. You think, okay, something happened. And then, of course, you don't know what happened in issue 34 sometimes if you don't get that eventually. So you can see there, of course, Submariner, they're having a battle there. He's obviously a bit of electricity involved there. So let's just go through the book itself. And I think this is a really lovely volume. Really, really good quality book, as always. 510-ish sort of pages. Very hard because we don't put page numbers for the bonus material back. And there's some nice bonus material. So let's just quickly go through the book. So I love these listings. Look at that listing. That listing is absolutely crazy. They've gone for really, it's going to get tiny and tiny. It's just going to get shrink away. And of course, there's still so many other books you think, well, why haven't they included that or this? Maybe at some point they will. And there's the stories there. You can see there all the way through. Really nice selection of stories. There's a whole range of different things. Tragedy, Triumph, and Titans 3. It covered quite a bit of that, I think. I think there's some really good stories. There's some sort of average stories. Some that you just think, Some stories that are sort of reminded me of other stories from other characters. You think, well, that was sort of like a Spidey story kind of thing. But, And you got this one here. It's a good one. Issue 28, Youthquake. So you've got here, obviously, Submariner wandering through. No one, of course, recognised him. I think there's a point where they probably start thinking that he might be Star Trek, obviously Spock there. And then, of course, everyone spots him there. And straight away he meets up with this guy that happens to be the son of the main villain in this story. And he's obviously got Submariner to come down, or Namor, to actually do it. And then you've got this, the Brutavac, the good old Brutavac. Artwork is great. I think the artwork is really good. And certainly when you look at the original comic, I've got, obviously, this one's very tatty issue. And here you can see there, I think they've actually done a really quite nice job cleaning it up. It's not too particularly garish, the colours, I don't think. Actually, one thing before I go further, I was really surprised when I was going through this and I just took that. I was wondering where this had gone. I suddenly found my Dave McKean one. I thought, wow, that's really nice. I've been looking for that for ages, and it's just, of course, tucked away behind something else. That's always right. It's a mirror mask. This one, of course, is the Kazar one. In his footsteps, the huntsman. Never thought the artwork was great for this one. This was just a weird story that was not, and which weirdly has never also been included, I don't think, in any Avengers ones. I'm not certain why, because it's an Avengers story initially anyway. You've got the Avengers turn out a little bit, and you think, and there's also another story that I was in very similar. You think, why was that ever included in any omnibuses or just sort of completely forgotten about? Well, Fear is the hunter. It's not going to be Craven the hunter, this one, but of course you've got the huntsman back again. And this time, of course, now we've got Hercules there battling away with Submariner. Again, really, she's a great character as well. I really thought that would have been a nicer story if they continued a bit more. She just sort of turned up a bit. I think maybe in the earlier issues, in the previous volume, she appeared a little bit more, but in this, she was a bit more that romance. You could sort of do these in sort of love romance stories. You'd sort of have that same sort of scene. I think it's still very good. Of course, he's battling away. Of course, Hercules can certainly give Submariner a good run for his money. Next story, we actually had another one that was pretty good, was this one, Captain Marvel, which I think it's really Rick Jones, obviously, turns up. And he's got him glaring away. He's obviously just goes there, he quickly bashes his ring, what's his name, armband, so he can quickly. And of course, he's got a nice little recap there of the early days there with the obviously Fantastic Four themselves, it says there. On to the next one. This is nice a bit. Triton. Really love that sort of thing, chatting away. I always think sometimes it would be nice if comics had occasionally no super villains or anything turning up, and they just had basic characters just sitting around having a good natural discussion about things. Not every week, not every month, but you think occasionally it would be nice, and it is nice one where you just thought, let's sit down and watch some TV program, which I must admit, I have no idea about this, the one he was talking about in this, but still a good story. Fightfuls, and of course got their Stingray as well. Namor versus Stingray and Triton as well. So that's a real good one. And Atoma. Atoma, I don't know. Never a favourite character. I think I've seen him die more often than any character probably in existence. But mysteriously, he still turns up. Is he still alive? I don't know. Please put in the comments below. Do you know what's happened to him? Maybe he's turned into a good guy. Maybe he realised the error of his ways, and would it be just nicer just to be nice to people, and then he might have still got what he wanted. Lyra, call her legend, and this is another great little character as well. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting our feature attraction, which is odd. I don't think that really had much to do with it, but it's still really good. Again, the artwork is really nice. Sal Buscema, Jim Mooney there, Inga, brilliant, really lovely. Just a great little story. And then you got the next story, which I think is a bit of a daft one, I have to say. Let's just go to the next one. And there's one, of course, I've just shown in the comment wherever it is. I put it down. Oh, it's over there now. It's so much nicer in here. Really looks really cleaned up and really sharp. But the story itself is not that great. You've got all the Atlanteans all suddenly going, he's not around. Namor's not around. He's just gone off somewhere. He's trying to solve some problems. And, of course, he's fallen asleep. And everyone suddenly there's some earthshake or quake. And things collapse straight away. They all sort of say, where is he? He's useless, etc., which, of course, we all do with our leaders, don't we? And, of course, he turns up, saving the day, sort of. But, of course, he's the villain. We know he is. He looks villainous. He looks Ming the Merciless sort of cat. Look, yes, make Briar our prince. Of course, he's obviously got a few of his cronies probably all around. And then, of course, you've got a lovely little flashback of sort of all the various characters he's known. Obviously, Sue Storm there. Even Namora turns up. Love Namora, great character. Of course, Agents of Atlas, I should say.